Question 13. Trig graphs. So, state the coordinates of A. Key piece of information, that's the minimum turning point. And we have our equation. So, state means that we can just read this off nice and easily. And we need to use our equation. So we need coordinates means we need an x and a y. I'm gonna start with y just because it's easiest. So the y coordinate, here's our y-axis. So we know that A is the minimum turning point. So we need to know the amplitude. Where do we find the amplitude? Here. It's in front of the cos. So we know that our y value is equal to 3. So we can just draw our little 3 in there. Excuse me guys, it's actually equal to -3. I was being a dunce. Let me just clarify that further. I was correct. The amplitude is 3. So what's the amplitude? The amplitude is how much it goes above the x-axis and then below the x-axis. So I was correct because it does go above 3 and below 3. But I was overlooking the fact that I was forgetting that we actually had to do a coordinate, didn't we? So I got the 3 from the amplitude, so it's 3 below, and then it's negative because it's underneath the x-axis. Hope that helps. So now we find our x value, which is slightly more tricky, but if you know how to draw the cosine graph, you'll be fine. So let's think about this. You can see, you might be thinking to yourself, well, this isn't a normal cosine graph. Indeed it is not. The normal cosine graph looks something like this. This, if we were to extend this, would be like that. And why is this the case? Well, we can see from the equation why. This graph has got this x plus 45. This has got plus 45 in the brackets. That means that actually the key part of information here, well, there's two key parts actually. One is this plus. That means it's been shifted to the left. Yes, because the way I remember this is that you would assume, well, I mean, I guess it would seem intuition would tell us that if this is a plus, then you would shift it to the right. So what would it look like if it was shifted to the right? So if this was a plus in here, a cosine graph shifted to the right would be maybe something like this. You see, but we don't. It's been the opposite because we see this maximum here. We go to the maximum, then we come down. In our example, we don't even reach that maximum. So moving back, so anyway, so because this is a plus, you would assume it's being shifted to the right. It's not being shifted to the right. It's the opposite of what seems intuitive. So that's how I remember it. So I read it and I'm like, what would I automatically think would happen to this graph if I had a plus in here, which can't even see anymore. Looks like a negative actually. So you would assume, well, it's been shifted to the right. And then you say to yourself, actually, self, I need to remember that this is counterintuitive. It's been shifted to the left. So how is this actually relevant now that we've gone all over that? Well, if it's been shifted to the left, so this minimum turning point on a normal cosine graph would be the x value of it on the x-axis would be 180 degrees, because we know the period of this is 360 in this example. So, but it's not, because it's been shifted to the left. Hence, if it's been shifted to the left, this 180 degrees has gone that way. How much has it been shifted to the left? 45 degrees. So we do, to find the x coordinates, we do 180 minus 45 degrees, because it's been shifted back the way. On this graph it would be something like there, which gives us 135. That is our x value. We can write that in, if it's coordinate guys, coordinates, guys, please remember to write it as coordinates. And that's our coordinates of point A. So just to reiterate, the key most important point in this, and I think what they're really trying to test, because I mean the y things, okay guys, make sure you know how to read a trig equation like that. For instance, how to find the amplitude here, how to know what the period is, how to do this. But this bit is the hard bit. This bit is the thing, the counterintuitive thing where you say to yourself, what do I think a plus would do? I think it would move it to the right, because as the x-axis, because values along the x-axis, well, I mean, not on the, yeah, values along the x-axis increase. Think that to yourself and think, actually, I remember I need to do the opposite. Hope that helps.